Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next session of Psych Edu Insights with Divya. Today, I'm here with a very interesting topic of defense mechanisms. Now, this topic is from unit number 7 of your psychology paper, which basically speaks about personality, motivation, emotion, stress, and coping. Now, directly, if you see the syllabus, you might not find the word defense mechanism anywhere in your syllabus. But let me tell you, defense mechanism is one of the most important topics, especially when you speak about Freud's psychoanalysis, as well as Anna Freud, who was Sigmund Freud's daughter. Her ego psychology theory is also based on defense mechanisms. Apart from this, defense mechanism is also one of the coping mechanisms. Okay. So that's why, though this is not listed as such in your syllabus directly, it is one of the most important concepts which is asked in your NET examinations, as well as your SET examinations, as well as your TTET or CTET and other competitive examinations as well. So today we are going to discuss about defense mechanisms, and this can also be one of your topics from paper 1. Now look, paper 1 basically speaks about teaching and research aptitude, right? Wherein we have 10 units. Now defense mechanism is also one of the mechanisms that can be seen when, students, when it comes to students characteristics or learners characteristics. Why do students behave in a certain way? So therefore, this is also relevant, very much relevant in your paper 1, which is a common paper in all the examinations of NET. Okay, so with this basic introduction, let us actually move ahead, wherein I will be speaking about the meaning of defense mechanisms, and I will also be elaborating some of the most important defense mechanisms along with examples. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay. Now, before I actually start with the concept of defense mechanisms, it is important for us to understand the structure of personality according to Freud. Now, I mentioned earlier, before I started with the session, that one of the most important personality theories is of Sigmund Freud. That is psychoanalysis. Okay, now today I'm not going to explain about psychoanalysis in detail, but every psychologist or the expert who has basically worked in the personality field has come up with some or the other structure or levels of personality. So Sigmund Freud is said to be one of the most important proponents of personality theories. Okay, so he basically came up with a structure of personality wherein he identified 3 structures. One is the id, second is the ego, and third is the superego. Now, why am I telling you about these structures when my topic over here is defense mechanisms? If we have to understand defense mechanisms, the origin of defense mechanisms, it is important for us to understand the base of this particular structure. Okay, so let me try and explain this to you. Like I mentioned, according to Sigmund Freud, personality is basically made up of 3 structures. One is id, second is ego, and third is superego. So when we speak of id, it is said to be the most primitive structure. That is, which is the most oldest structure of personality. And when I say it is the primitive structure, it is based on the principle of pleasure. That means it requires immediate gratification of needs. For example, अगर मैं कहूँ कि मुझे अभी आइसक्रीम चाहिए, तो मुझे immediately आइसक्रीम चाहिए. मुझे कोई बहाना नहीं सुनना. I'm not interested in any, logical reasons that you give me. You can say that, Divya, this is the rainy season. It's not good to have the ice cream in the rainy season. I'm not interested. Whether it's the rainy season, whether it's the winter season, right now, if I want the ice cream, means I want the ice cream. Kind of ziddi. Yes. So that ziddipan is what defines the it. If I want it, I need it. If I need it, I want it immediately. I'm not ready to wait. आपको मेरी हर इच्छाएं on an immediate basis पूरी करनी होगी. This is that level of your personality. Okay. The second level of your personality is ego. Now, ego is a rational manager. Rational manager in the sense a logical partner of your structure of personality, which basically tells that, okay, I'm not telling you that I'm not going to give you the ice cream. I am going to give you the ice cream, but right now, this is not the correct time for you to have the ice cream. I will be giving you the ice cream at the right time. That means immediate gratification of needs is not what ego is going to support you, but at the same time, it is not going to negate your demands as well. It is going to state that at the right time, I'm going to give you what you want. Maybe uh, even though it's the rainy season, the climate changes. जब थोड़ी धूप होगी, बारिश रुक जाएगा या बहुत कम हो जाएगी, that time I will get you an ice cream. So this is, wherein the logical part comes into picture. So ego is the rational structure of your personality. Now comes a third part, that is a superego. Superego is something which works on right and wrong. If it is right, please go ahead with it. If it is wrong, you're not going to get it. So superego tells that id के कोई भी demands हमें नहीं पूरे करने हैं. यहाँ पे वो id के खिलाफ है. ईगो क्या कर रहा है? बैलेंसिंग एक्ट कर रहा है कि चलिए हम आपको इमीडिएटली नहीं देंगे, सही वक्त पे देंगे. ईगो कह रहा है कि हम आपको आइसक्रीम देने ही नहीं वाले. इट्स नॉट गुड फॉर योर हेल्थ, इट्स नॉट गुड फॉर योर थ्रोट. So this is what is super ego telling. Okay, so super ego is the moral principle. It is based on the moral principles. Over here I have also touched upon one of the most important elements of your psychoanalysis. This question is very important. डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली आपसे बहुत क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए हैं नेट में अबाउट इड, सुपर ईगो एंड ईगो. ओके, नाउ विद दिस बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग, ईगो मैंने क्या कहा, एक बैलेंसिंग एक्ट क्रिएट करता है बिटवीन इड एंड सुपर ईगो. ओके, सो देयरफॉर ईगो बेसिकली is always in a state of anxiety. Now since it's in a state of anxiety, it needs to come up with some solution or with some mechanism in order to face this constant anxiety or rift between id and superego. So the mechanism which with ego utilizes or basically overcomes this state of anxiety, that mechanism or those strategies is said to be defense mechanism. So what are defense mechanisms? Defense mechanisms are basically those strategies which the ego utilizes in order to overcome the anxiety which is posed because of the rift between id and superego. So hopefully now you'll have understood what why did I pick up this particular concept before actually moving ahead or directly to the types of defense mechanisms. So basically, this is what is defense mechanism. Okay. Now going ahead to the next part. Now coming to the types of defense mechanisms. Now let me tell you very clearly that there are different types of defense mechanisms, many types. But over here, I have picked a few types of defense mechanisms which are very commonly asked in your examinations and which we usually utilize in our day-to-day life as well. Okay, so the very first type of defense mechanism is rationalization. So when I speak about rationalization, the word rational, you all can relate it with the term logical. Okay, यानी जिसके कुछ reasons आप use करते हो अपने action को justify करने के लिए. Now when I state this, what do I mean to say? Over here, rationalization is basically a type of defense mechanism wherein you utilize or you come up with reasons, logical reasons, in order to justify your illogical or irrational acts. जो आपकी गलत बिहेवियर है, उस गलत बिहेवियर को जस्टिफाई करने के लिए आप कुछ लॉजिकल रीजन उठा ले आते हो. तो जब ऐसे तरीके का आप स्ट्रैटेजी यूज करते हैं, उसको हम रैशनलाइजेशन कहते हैं. ओके, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल ओवर हियर आई एम स्टेटिंग दैट आई फेल्ड बिकॉज माय टीचर हेट्स मी. ठीक है, तो अगर आप एग्जामिनेशन में फेल हो गए, ये एक गलत आउटपुट है, एक गलत बिहेवियर है जो इंडिकेट करता है कि आपने पढ़ाई नहीं की. बट over here you are not accepting that I have failed because I have not studied in my examination. But over here आप ये कह रहे हो कि मैं फेल हुआ हूं, बट इसलिए नहीं कि क्योंकि मैंने पढ़ाई नहीं की. मैंने तो पढ़ाई बहुत अच्छे से की थी, बट इसीलिए क्योंकि वो टीचर मुझसे नफरत करती है और जानबूझकर उसने मेरे मार्क्स काटे हैं. So over here you are coming up with a very strong point that the teacher hates you. That's why you have failed in the examination. My efforts were not less. So your wrong act of not studying for the examination, you're trying to come up with a very strong rationale or a logical justification for your act in order to avoid the consequences of your wrong act. तो यहाँ पे अगर आपने अपने पेरेंट्स को ये बोल दिया कि मेरी टीचर मुझसे नफरत करती है जिसकी वजह से मेरे मार्क्स कम हुए हैं, तो पेरेंट्स माइट सिंपथाइज विथ यू और आपको नहीं डांटेंगे, टीचर का कंप्लेन करने चले जाएंगे. सो दिस इज हाउ रैशनलाइजेशन वर्क्स. ओके, वन मोर एग्जांपल आई विल गिव यू. अज्यूम दैट आप एक जॉब के लिए बहुत ही ज्यादा वेट कर रहे हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू वर वेटिंग फॉर द इंटरव्यू ऑफ योर ड्रीम जॉब. ओके, ना वहां पे अगर वो आपका ड्रीम जॉब है तो नेचुरली वहां पे आपका प्रेपरेशन भी होना चाहिए अकॉर्डिंगली. नाउ व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट प्रेपरेशन, द प्रेपरेशन स्टार्ट्स right from your degrees, you keep your file ready. You also assume what type of questions might be asked. थोड़ा prepare करते हो, उस हिसाब से आप वहां पे जाते हो, और you dress up accordingly in a formal dress and accordingly you go for the interview, यानी well prepared basically. but यहाँ पे ठीक है, मैंने अप्लाई कर दिया, अभी मैं जॉब के इंटरव्यू का कॉल का वेट कर रहा हूँ. सो फाइन, यू आर वेटिंग फॉर गेटिंग एन इंटरव्यू कॉल. You go over there unprepared, or since you are unprepared, naturally over there the people are not just going to sit there and smile and ठीक है आपको वो जॉब चाहिए हम आपको दे रहे हैं. They are going to challenge you, they are going to ask you a lot of questions. So during that time what happens is the entire panel is going to test you, your patience, the way you come up with the answers, your responses, everything, right? So वहां पे अगर आप खड़े नहीं उतरते हो तो नेचुरली आपके चांसेस कम है कि आपको वो जॉब मिलेगा. तो ये अज्यूम कीजिए कि आप अनप्रिपेयर्ड गए हो, तो गलती आपकी है कि अभी आप अनप्रिपेयर्ड हो, जॉब का इंटरव्यू हो जाता है, आपका इंटरव्यू अच्छा नहीं होता एंड यू आर नॉट सिलेक्टेड. यू कम बैक होम एंड देन यू से दैट it's okay, I didn't get the job because वैसे भी I don't feel the job was worth it. ऐसे ही कोई एवरी जॉब था, इतना कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट जॉब नहीं था, तो मैंने ही ज्यादा ये नहीं किया, वो मेरे लायक जॉब नहीं था. व्हाट इज दिस यू आर ट्राइंग टू टेल? that job was not worth me. I am much at a higher position compared to that particular job. So here you are trying to say कि वो job worth था ही नहीं, मैं ही छोड़कर आ गया. सच्चाई वो नहीं है, सच्चाई ऑपोजिट है कि आपको वो जॉब नहीं मिला है because you were unprepared. But you are coming up with a very strong or logical reason telling that that wasn't a place where I wanted to go. So that's why it's okay if I didn't get a job. So that is an example of rationalization. Okay. So hopefully you all have understood this concept. I've given you two examples. Now moving ahead, the second example or the second type of defense mechanism is projection. प्रोजेक्टर क्या करता है? एक छोटी सी चीज को बड़ा करके हमें दिखाता है, राइट? सो द सेम लॉजिक गोज विद द डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म ऑफ प्रोजेक्शन. नाउ इन प्रोजेक्शन व्हाट हैपेंस इज whatever impulse you have, you are trying to project it to others. For example, अगर आपको एग्जामिनेशन में चीटिंग करते हुए आप पकड़े गए, ठीक है, एक क्लासरूम में, तो फिर नेचुरली आपको जो भी वहां पे इन्विजिलेटर है वो आपको पकड़ेंगे, आपके खिलाफ रिमार्क लिखेंगे, आपके खिलाफ एक्शन होगा. So ideally you should be sorry and you should be stating that you won't be doing this, you should be accepting your mistake, ताकि you get a second chance to write the paper, ताकि वो आगे कोई और crucial stage में ना जाए. But over here what you do is you simply, if you instead of accepting the mistake, if you tell this, I'm not the only one who is cheating, there are other people over there who are cheating, so अगर मुझे पकड़ रहे हो तो बाकी लोगों को भी पकड़ो. What are you doing? It's not only me, others are also doing it. मैंने इसीलिए किया क्योंकि दूसरे लोग भी कर रहे हैं. अगर आप मुझे पनिश कर रहे हो तो दूसरे लोगों को भी पनिश करो. This is projection. I'm not the only one, there are others also. Whatever you're doing with them, with me, you're supposed to do it with them also. So मैं अकेला गलत नहीं हूं. अगर मैं ब्राइब ले रहा हूं तो मैंने अकेले ब्राइब नहीं लिया है, बहुत सारे दूसरे लोग भी हैं जो ब्राइब ले रहे हैं. तो आप उनको भी जाकर पकड़िए, नहीं पकड़ सकते तो आप you don't have any right to punish me also. If this is the strategy or this is the response that you come up with, this is a classic example of projection. Okay, so hopefully you all have understood this. Moving to the third part, that is repression. Repression is something that that is related to your past. कुछ तो आपके पास्ट में हुआ था जो कि आपको फिलहाल सच में याद नहीं है, but it is there in your unconscious as well as subconscious element of your mind. Now this is again the layers of the layers of mind which is discussed in the personality theories. I'm not getting into depth in today's class because that's not the objective, but subconscious और unconscious element में वो रह गया है आपके दिमाग के, आपको याद नहीं है, लेकिन उसका जो impact है वो आपके day to day behavior में होता है. Now the picture that I have put over here, assume that this child this girl when she was small, तो उस टाइम उसको बचपन में एक डॉग ने बाइट किया था. वो बहुत छोटी थी कि उसको वो डॉग ने बाइट किया था ये बात याद नहीं है, बट इट वाज अ वेरी स्कैरी एक्सपीरियंस फॉर द गर्ल एंड शी वो इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग इम्पैक्ट हो गया कि उसको अभी आफ्टर मेनी मेनी इयर्स इवन व्हेन मे बी नाउ शी इज एन अडल्ट, उसको कब ये याद नहीं कि डॉग ने उसको काटा था, बट उसको ये याद है जब भी देखो डॉग उसके सामने से गुजर भी रहा होता है, शी इज स्कैर्ड. She just wants to stay away from the dog. And when you ask the reason, why are you scared of dogs? I don't know. I'm just scared of dogs. If this is a response, then it means that there was some incident, usually a traumatic incident is associated with repression. Then because of which the individual, is not aware what has happened in the past, और वो इतना strong trauma था उस individual के लिए कि उसकी मेंटल सैनिटी के लिए हमारे दिमाग ने उसको उठा के डाल दिया अनकॉन्शियस और सबकॉन्शियस इसमें, कि वो सिर्फ ट्रिगर हो ताकि दिस इज डेंजरस फॉर यू, बट वो एग्जैक्ट डेंजर का क्या कॉज है ये आपको याद नहीं आता है. एंड दैट्स व्हाई योर प्रेजेंट एज वेल एज योर फ्यूचर बिहेवियर इज एक्चुअली monitored, or it is actually based on your past experiences which you do not remember. This is what is repression. This is a classic defense mechanism, specially utilized by people who have, undergone some type of an abuse in their past lives. That is in their early stages of life, basically. Okay, so this is what is repression. Going ahead, this is one of the most famous type of defense mechanism, that is reaction formation. Now, reaction formation, I'm 100% sure each and every one of us has utilized sometime or the other. Reaction formation यानी कि क्या कहते हैं, whatever you feel like you are going to behave in the exact opposite manner. For example, you literally hate your boss. You hate your boss to such an extent कि मन ही मन आपको बहुत गुस्सा आता है उनको देखकर. But whenever the boss comes in front of you, or whenever any colleague speaks about your boss, you're going to speak exactly the opposite. Oh, my boss is fantastic. He or she has fantastic leadership skills. So reaction formation का मतलब ये है कि जो आप actually आपकी सोच है उसके opposite तरीके से आप behave करते हो. Now, ideally, why will we do this? Kind of you are wearing a mask. You're basically wearing this particular mask in order to, now I'll take the same example. Over here, I want to save my job. So मैं कितना भी अपने boss को hate करूं, I'm not going to go and, tell everyone that my boss is not good, or, I have this problem with my boss, etc., etc. I am going to lose my job. That's why I simply decide that, okay, I'm going to wear a mask. जो भी actual में feelings है उसका opposite में behave करूंगी. Maybe I'm going to, ज्यादा मैं बटरिंग करूंगी या बहुत ही अच्छा बनने की कोशिश करूंगी, हमेशा अपने बॉस की तारीफ करूंगी. Okay, so this is exactly opposite way. That is, you're wearing a mask in order to handle the situation, in order to take care of a bigger goal that you have in life. So that is reaction formation, acting exactly in the opposite way. than what is real. Okay, going ahead. Displacement, again, a very, very common type of defense mechanism, which almost each and every one of us has utilized sometime or the other. Okay, displacement का मतलब ये है कि जो भी आपके impulses है, वो impulses आप एक less threatenable target पे निकालते हो. For example, I'll take the example of the boss again. The boss is scolding me unnecessarily. मैं बॉस को तो चिल्ला नहीं सकती. Maybe once or twice I'm going to try to put my point ahead. But every time the boss keeps on insulting me, scolding me. But like I said, I want my job. So I cannot, fight or you can say I cannot back answer my boss every time. लेकिन मुझे गुस्सा बहुत आ रहा है. तो क्योंकि मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है and I really want to vent it out, तो मैं वो किस पे गुस्सा निकालूंगी? Maybe I come back home and I will, remove that frustration on my family members. तो ये एक लेस थ्रेटनेबल टारगेट हो गया, यानी कि किसी और का गुस्सा किसी और पे उतारना. दैट इज डिस्प्लेसमेंट. सो वॉट एवर इमोशंस यू हैव फॉर समवन एल्स, वो आप उस पर नहीं निकाल सकते क्योंकि वो आप अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते, इसलिए उठाकर दूसरे एक लेस थ्रेटनेबल टारगेट पे निकाल लिया. Why? Because you know that your family members in this example will understand you. ज्यादा से ज्यादा थोड़ी बहुत conflict type situation हो जाएगा, but later on they will come and ask. For example, if I come back home, because of some reason, I'm frustrated in my office, and I come back home and I remove that anger on my parents. My parents will understand कि ये दिव्या का normal behavior नहीं है, कुछ तो हुआ है, maybe still some fight is going to happen little bit. उसके बाद मैं शांत हो जाऊंगी and later on my parents will come and ask me, दिव्या हुआ क्या था, क्यों आप फाइट कर रहे थे, आपका ये बिहेवियर नहीं है. एंड देन आई विल टेल, ओ दिस इज हैपेंड इन द मीटिंग एंड आई गॉट एंग्री एंड सो एंड सो, एंड मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था वहां क्या हुआ, इसलिए मैंने यहाँ पे वो निकल गया, आई डिडंट मीन इट. सो दिस इज अ क्लासिक एग्जाम्पल ऑफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट, जिन पे आप वही जो आपके इमोशंस जो आप वेंट आउट करना चाहते हो, आप उन पे वेंट आउट करेंगे जिनका उस सिचुएशन से कुछ लेना देना नहीं है, बट एट द सेम टाइम आप जानते हो कि वो बंदा या बंदी मेरी बात सुन के लेगा, समझ के लेगा, एंड आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू लूज द पर्सन एट एनी कॉस्ट एंड वी विल स्टिल सस्टेन एंड लिव पीसफुली. बट यही गुस्सा अगर मैं अपने बॉस पे निकालू, देयर इज अ चांस दैट आई माइट लूज माई जॉब. Okay, so this is what is displacement. Going ahead with one of the most beautiful types of defense mechanism, that is sublimation. Now, sublimation is wherein you have a certain impulse. Now, when I talk about impulse, this type of an impulse is more towards aggression, गुस्सा, गुस्से के अलग-अलग types. So, over here, you have a certain behavior in you which is not acceptable by others, by the society. तो अगर आप वो उस behavior को आप पूरी तरह से बदल देते हो into a behavior that the society is going to accept. For example, if you get angry a lot, there are people who have anger issues. तो क्योंकि मुझे गुस्सा आता है, इसलिए मैं हर आते जाते इंसान को थप्पड़ मार के घूमूं? No, that's not possible. I will keep on, speaking ill with every person. I will verbally get into fights with maybe my neighbor, with my colleagues, with my friends, everyone. This is not going to be accepted by anyone, any person who knows you also. क्योंकि एक टाइम तक वो समझ के लेंगे, लेकिन हर दिन आप उनसे फालतू में लड़ रहे हो, बिना बात के लड़ रहे हो, क्योंकि आपके अंदर बहुत गुस्सा है, and that is your natural personality trait, then that needs to be taken care of. So ऐसा जो personality trait है आपके अंदर, that needs to be molded or vented out, but not on different people. It should be vented out in a way that people are going to accept it. ठीक है, गुस्सा है ना, जाइए आप कोई sports ले लीजिए. Now in this picture that I have given, if you see, if the over here the person Jim, he is getting bullied by his friends, इसलिए उसको बहुत गुस्सा आ रहा है, तो वो आके अगर जहां पे भी वो रहता है उसके दीवार को तोड़ने लगेगा, तो आस पड़ोस के लोग सुनने नहीं वाले, दे आर गोइंग टू कंप्लेन. शायद भले ही वो उसका खुद का घर हो, उसके खिलाफ एक्शन हो सकता है. सो ये गुस्सा उसको कहीं ना कहीं तो बाहर निकालना होगा. सो दैट्स व्हाई ही जॉइंस maybe he gets into a training of boxing, and that entire aggression he utilizes in becoming a boxing champion. So boxing is again a game of aggression. गुस्सा ही है वो, वहां पे आपको अपना aggression दिखाना ही पड़ता है, right? So over here what is happening is people are going to accept it. जो उसका गुस्सा था उसने एक कंस्ट्रक्टिव तरीके से डाइवर्ट किया. कराटे, मारने का बहुत मन कर रहा है, जो भी आपको बुली कर रहे हैं, जाओ जाके कराटे प्रैक्टिस करो, वहां पे वो निकालिए. Okay, so this is again one of the examples. Maybe the person has an impulse of, excessive emotions. Excessive, maybe this is actually one of the mental, it comes under a mental disorder as well. Schizophrenia का एक symptom होता है जहाँ पे हाइबरफीनिया हम इसको कहते हैं. ओके, सो इसके अंदर क्या होता है कि फॉर एग्जांपल आई मेट अ फ्रेंड आफ्टर मेनी मेनी इयर्स. सो यस, नेचुरली आई एम गोइंग टू हग हर, से हाय, बट उसको देख के बीच रास्ते में उसको हग करके रोना रोना, एक्सेसिव इमोशंस जो किसी को एम्बैरेस कर जाए. So for example, this is not going to be accepted by anyone. वो कहेगा कि पता नहीं कैसे भी immature तरीके से behave कर रहा है. So I'm giving you another example. So if you have such type of an emotions which is not acceptable as normal by people, then उस emotions को properly vent out करने के लिए शायद वो जो मेरी friend है जो ऐसे behave कर रही है, वो जाकर ड्रामा में पार्टिसिपेट कर सकती है. Maybe she can become a theater actress, जहां पे अलग अलग तरीके के एक्सेसिव इमोशंस को कंट्रोल करना भी सिखाया जाता है और उसको ब्यूटिफुली बाहर दिखाया भी जाता है, हाउ टू एक्ट इट आउट. So this is something that the society is going to accept. So when you mold your unacceptable impulses into something that the society is going to accept, it is said to be the defense mechanism of sublimation. Okay, so I guess with this, we come to the end of this particular class. Like I mentioned, I have taken a few of the most commonly discussed or asked types of defense mechanisms in your different types of examination. So hopefully you all have understood it. I will be coming back with a new lecture on a very important topic next week. So with this, if you all have liked the session, please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will be waiting for your comments. If you all have any confusion, you all have not understood anything, please ask. I'm going to reply. And all the ones who are interested in, getting your qualified for your NET set or other competitive examinations, please subscribe to my channel. It will be very useful to you. So do share with others, do subscribe, and please like and comment. I'll be waiting for it. So with this, we are ending the session today. Thank you. Bye-bye.